Oh. Hola y buenos días. Soy yo, el señor Morris. My luck here fishing isn't any better than it was before. Hoy estamos en el lago. Estamos en el lago. That's right. Today, we're going to review the different places that you might want to go on a vacation. We're going to talk about how you might get there and who might take you there. Pero primero, vamos a cantar nuestra canción de saludos. Canten conmigo. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo están ustedes? ¿Cómo se sienten? Yo me siento bien. Muy bien. Pues empezamos con una adivinanza. Escriban estas letras. Escuchen. C, R, A, B, O. Okay. Did you get those letters written down? Let's see. Did you get it? Here we go. C, R, A, B, O. Crabo. Este no es un crabo. See if you can recognize this word during our lesson today. It's going to be one of the words that we talk about, and it's going to be scrambled up. See if you can unscramble that, and at the end of today's lesson, we'll see who can get that. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and begin by reviewing the travel destinations that we've talked about so far in this unit. Now, if I ask you this question, ¿A dónde quieren ir? ¿A dónde quieren ir? And you remember that this is the one where I'm asking you and your family. What could you say? If I ask you, where do you want to go? You could say, podemos ir. And if you wanted to go to this place, what would you say? Podemos ir a la playa. Podemos ir a la playa. Or you could say, podemos ir. And what is this one called? Do you remember? It's a cognate, so that's pretty easy. Podemos ir al desierto. Al desierto, that's right. How about this? Podemos ir. Do you remember this? Does this look familiar? Al bosque. Podemos ir al bosque. Yeah, we could go here on vacation. We could say, podemos ir, and this is where I just was, huh? Podemos ir al lago. Podemos ir al lago. Okay, but if you didn't want to go there, maybe you want to go here. You would say, podemos ir, what is this one going to be? A las montañas. Podemos ir a las montañas. Or, you could say, podemos ir. Do you remember what this one is called? There's a river in between Texas and Mexico that has this name. Podemos ir al río. And you get to roll your R on that one. Río. Okay. Well, maybe by now you've decided where you would like to go on vacation. But now I have another question for you. ¿Cómo van a viajar? And you see down here, the N tells you that I'm asking all of you, you and your family, because that's the plural. ¿Cómo van a viajar? How are you going? Viajar, you remember, means to travel. ¿Cómo van a viajar? How are you going to travel, or how are you going to get there where you're going on vacation? Well, let's see. There are a lot of possible ways of going on vacation. Well, I've thought of some. Let's go ahead and look at them right now. One way that you can go on vacation, particularly if you're going a long way away, is en un avión. and you might want to jot these down in your Spanish notebooks, en un avión. Okay? And you can tell what that is, right? Un avión. Another way that you might want to go, en un auto. And you hear how I pronounce that? I pronounce all of those letters, auto. En un auto. Okay? And this is pretty much a cognate. We don't call it an auto, usually, an automobile. We call it a car. But you can see where that would be a cognate. And that's one of the things about Spanish is it'll help you recognize more of the words in English that you encounter. And you'll make some connections that way. Okay, so we talk about un avión, un auto. Podemos ir en un tren. En un tren. And that sounds kind of like the way we pronounce this word in English, doesn't it? We call it a train, en un tren. Okay? So, remember, always pronounce those letters clearly and carefully. En un tren. Go ahead and get that written down into your notebook. Un avión, un auto, un tren. Podemos ir en un autobús. En un autobús. That's right. And this is what we call a bus in English. And in Spanish is un autobús. And you hear how this last syllable is stressed. It has the accent mark written there. Un autobús. Go ahead and get that written down in your notebooks. Okay. Another way that you might want to go is en un barco. En un barco. Okay. And this is a great way to travel if you ever get a chance. Yeah. Nice big barco out in the sea. Yeah, that's a great way to go on vacation. All right. Well, now, if we're going to be traveling by one of these means of travel, we may want to know who's driving us around, who's taking us. Okay? Well, these are the people who control the various means of travel that we just talked about. Okay? The first person, okay, this person takes care of un avión. Un avión. Okay? Él es el piloto. El piloto. Okay, and that's a cognate, so that makes that pretty easy. Okay? Okay? And the next one, un piloto. Okay, if you're going in an auto, or if you're going in un autobús, the person who drives you around will be el chofer. Can you say that? El chofer. And that sounds kind of like the word chauffeur, doesn't it? Well, chauffeur is a French word. Chofer is the Spanish adaptation of that word. So, el chofer is the person who drives un auto. El chofer. Well, the person who controls the train is el maquinista. El maquinista. And he's the engineer. Okay, so you might want to go ahead and get this one written down into your notebooks. And while you're writing that down, I'm going to tell you, máquina is a machine. A máquina is a machine. Okay? So, the person who takes care of the machine is the machinist, or maquinista, the engineer. Okay, and this last one here, you should probably recognize from our song, La Bamba. Es el capitán. And here's that accent again. El capitán. Remember we sing, Yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán. Well, here's what a capitán is. He's the captain of a ship. Okay? Well, very good. Now, I hope you guys got those copied down into your notebooks, because we're going to be going over those again. We're going to be needing them for our activity sheet. But before we go over our activity sheet, how about if we do a little bit more TPR to keep you up and moving around, and see how many of these things you remember. Go ahead and párense todos. Get ready. Teachers, you allow your students to participate as best works for you. Y ahora, presten atención y participen todos. All right. Now, we're going to see if we can do some more of this TPR here. Let's go ahead and start by reviewing the things that we've been doing up to now. You guys ready? Párense. Okay. Caminen. Oy, espérense. Voltéense. Caminen. Y siéntense en las sillas. Okay. Párense. Okay. Brinquen. Basta, basta. Okay. Voltéense. Voltéense. Siéntense en el piso. Okay. Canten. Oh, that's so beautiful. Ya basta. Párense. Okay. Siéntense en las sillas. Okay. Toquen las sillas. Toquen el piso. Okay. Do you remember this one? Ríense. How about this one? Lloren. Okay. Párense. Brinquen a la mesa y siéntense en la mesa. Now remember, you guys, if your teacher doesn't want you sitting on your tables in your classroom, you probably shouldn't do that. I hope you're participating along with us, because we're going to do more and more of this stuff. I hope that you guys are getting a chance to work on some TPR in your classrooms. Now, if you don't feel real comfortable saying the words, okay, teachers, what you might want to do is go to our vocabulary pages, and you can write the words down on the board or on a piece of construction paper or something, and you can point to the words and see if the students can read the words, understand, and respond appropriately. And that way, if you don't feel comfortable pronouncing the words, you don't have to, but you guys will still be able to participate and do some TPR in your classrooms. You might want to give it a shot. Okay. Ahora vamos a repasar con la hoja de actividades llamada crucigrama. Crucigrama, and we've had this one before. Crucigrama means a crossword puzzle. Voy a escribir mi nombre aquí arriba. R-O-V-E-R-T-O. Roberto. Soy yo. Now, the crucigrama, you probably remember, is a crossword puzzle. Okay? And what I've done is, I've gotten your picture clues here. Your key is over here, and you'll notice that the numbers that going across are numbers, 1, 2, 3, and going down are the letters, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. Now, if you notice, some of these have pictures of people. If it has a picture of the person in there, I want you to find the name of the person who controls it. If it has just the means of transportation, then you'll write that down. Okay. For example, let's start off with an easy one. Down, A. What is that called? Okay. It's a cognate, so it's almost the same in English and in Spanish. You know in English that it's a train. Y en español, here it is, un tren. Un tren. Well, does that fit? 1, 2, 3, 4 letras. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sí, cabe. Yes, it fits. T, R, E, N. And then I'm going to go up here, and this is what I always do because this helps me, is mark through. Tren. Okay. But remember, if we're looking at things, we do the thing. If we're looking at people, we talk about what these people are called. This guy that drives the car. Do you remember what he's called? let's look over here at our key. Avión, auto, tren, autobús, barco, piloto, maquinista, chofer, capitán. What is he called? Chofer. C-H-O-F-E-R. Chofer. Let me mark through that. Well, I hope you got some good notes today, because that'll certainly help you in finishing up the activity sheet when your teacher gives you some time. Today, we talked about the ways of traveling and the people who take us places. We went over some TPR, and we reviewed some of the other things that we've done in this unit. Pero saben que ya es hora de despedirnos. Before we go, did anyone get our adivinanza? The letters were cravo, C-R-A-V-O, cravo. Did anybody unscramble those and get the word? Barco, barco. That's right, that was one of the means of transportation, the way of getting around. That's barco, is a big ship. Barco. Okay. Well, for our goodbye song today, I'd like to sing the song De Colores. It's a pretty song. Canten conmigo. De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajarillos que vienen de afuera. De colores es el arco iris que vemos lucir, y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Canta el gallo con el kirikirikirikiri. La gallina con el cara. Los polluelos con el pío. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Muy bien. Well, you guys keep practicing all of these things that we've gone over. You might want to look up some information on Mexico. I hope you got a chance to try our guacamole, and we'll see each other during our next class. Until then, adiós y hasta luego.